Manhattan Beach was a very sleepy beach community. There were empty lots all over the place. I guess it was kind of a well-kept secret, and the idea of living near the beach was not nearly as desirable as it is today, but there were a lot of modest houses, middle class, very friendly, very simple, laid back, and it's kind of hard to describe a childhood that was so simple and carefree. The house was built in 1922. And my mother bought it in 1945 when my father was in the Navy in Guam. So she bought it while he was coming home from World War II. So it's been in our family for 70 years. So when we sold the house, we knew it was going to be torn down because that's been the trend for the last 30 years in the beach community. And I was very conflicted, and it was very bittersweet that we were selling my childhood home. So it dawned on me that I actually needed to do something to give it a proper farewell. I've been working with the theme of nostalgia in my artwork for the last 30 years, and my father's photography has been an endless source for my work. I was always inspired by the way he was able to capture and track so many iconic moments of our family, moments that were sort of a shared experience of my generation. There was volume after volume of these photographs. I mean, hundreds of them. They were all dated in the back. I knew exactly how old I was throughout this whole process. And it was a hyper-chronology of our entire family history. It was actually a really simple connection just to think of covering the outside of the house with my father's family photographs. I've been using a process where they actually print onto MDO board. It's a waterproof, long-lasting inkjet process, and it's just a remarkable piece of machinery, so it was perfect for what I wanted. I had to kind of put it together like a jigsaw puzzle. There's no pre-planning, there's no chronological order. It was all intuition. I usually don't work that way. I usually have a very specific plan on how something's going to look, but this was completely different. There's a lot of visualization on how this square picture is going to be broken up into this irregular area. And it's part of the fun, it's also part of the challenge. What I wanted to do was pick the photographs that stayed close to home. I wanted to highlight the house as much as I wanted to highlight the family. My father was such an active member of the community from as far back as I can remember. He was the president of the PTA, he was a Cub Scout pack leader, and he went on to become a city council member for over 20 years, in which time he was mayor 2 or 3 times. And this is all the time he was a detective in Los Angeles and later on opened up Sweeney's hardware store. He was just a very remarkable man, and I don't ever remember a time when he wasn't completely active in the community. And he just had his camera with him at all times, and he took all the Christmas pictures that you see. The first day of school, Boy Scouts, Little League, any activities we were involved in, he always had a camera with him. So after I got the photographs up and I was able to come down off the ladder and take a good look at this project, it struck me and how much of my life this represents. And I think it also struck me that I was very, very lucky, not only with the family that I had and the place where I grew up, but I was very lucky to be able to do a project like this where I could relive my life and bring in all my friends and family. And I just feel very fortunate that I was able to have that opportunity. The community has been very supportive, and people that knew our family, I hope they leave with a smile on their face, and I hope they remember our family with fondness. And if they don't know us and they don't know who this family is, I hope it triggers memories of their own childhood and perhaps lets them reflect on their youth. I'm occupying this house through the month of February, and at the end of February, I'll take the photographs down, and then the house will be gone. Well, the nice thing is that Manhattan Beach has still managed to maintain a lot of its charm. For instance, if I walk along the Strand and to my one side are these brand new homes that are absolutely unrecognizable as anything that was there when I was growing up. But to the other side is the same ocean and the same sunset and the same pier and the same beautiful beach that I used to see when I was 5 years old. That's timeless. That hasn't changed. The waves come in, the tide comes in and goes out, and it actually puts you right back into any time in your life that you want to be, because it's always going to be the same. So that's really comforting, and that's the constant here, and I don't see how I could ever get tired of it. I mean, the fact is that Manhattan Beach is always going to be my hometown.